Hi, and welcome to Website Basics. My name is Kim Fox Dunnigan, and I just wanted to share a few things with you from business owner to business owner about why you need a website and why design is important. So, the big question is why have a website? We all know what websites are, they're like everywhere. You would think that every small business has a website, but that's not the case. There's only a small percentage that do. And as you are building your business, it's important for you to consider creating a website. One of the first reasons, is that it acts as an anchor for your marketing. So you may market on Facebook or Google or YouTube. It's good to have a place to send people. It's also good on your business cards because that's the way that someone can act and connect with you after you've met them. If there's a way for them to go directly to your website, you can promote and sell your products and services. So not just a landing page, because a landing page will work too, depending on what your business is. But you can actually have people do interactions and do different things on your website. So you can create one where you're selling your product directly to your customer. You can also showcase your services on your website and give them a place to see some of your work in a centralized area. It helps you connect with new customers and keep existing ones. So as you market your services or your products, you're sharing your website and you're giving them a place to connect with your brand. And so not only do your existing customers have that, but as you grow your business, you will be expanding and creating new customers. You can help as a small business, as a local business, you can compete with large brands. Now, this is really evolutionary because over the last 10, 15 years, there was a time where, as a small business, you didn't feel that you could compete with a larger company. And now, with the evolution of personal business websites, you can be a two-man show and no one knows it compared to like a 20,000 man show because your website can actually look just as good as some of the larger corporations, just as such as Walmart or Target. There's so many things that you can scale to fit what your business sells or markets. It builds your credibility. So it's a great way for, because you're serious. When you create a website, you're showing the world that, hey, this is my business, this is my products, I'm selling them, I'm proud of them, and here's a place that you can find them. As opposed to, maybe selling out of your trunk, which there's nothing wrong with selling out of your trunk when you start up. But if you want to expand beyond your trunk and give yourself some credibility, a website is a great place to go. It allows you to control your online destiny. So another thing that I'll be discussing in other tutorials is basically building your brand. And what the brand is are those colors and tones and text that reflect your business. And there's so much you can do when you're building your brand that will let your customers know that it's unique to you and that you are the one that controls. You're dictating the feel of your website. It's simple and affordable to set up. Software has come a long way. The next slide, we're going to kind of talk about some of the online services that you can use, but a lot of companies are now offering the option to do it yourself, to create a website in your living room using your photos and using your text and using your content. And this information came from an article that I found on GoDaddy. So as I said before, there's website builders out there, and I'm just going to go through a couple of them. The first website builder is Wix.com, and that's the one I'm most familiar with, and I will be doing a tutorial on that as well. But Wix is a kind of a drop and drag website builder. You can go to Wix.com and create an account for free, and you can build your website for free. So there are there are restrictions and limitations to that free site, um, but I will share that in a later tutorial. The next one is GoDaddy, which is very similar to Wix. They have a very similar platform as far as creating a space that small business owners can create their own website. Both of these software also offer domain names, and a domain name is basically the title of your business, your URL. And you have to, in order to upgrade from these free accounts that Wix and GoDaddy and several others offer, you will have to connect a domain name to it. And there's usually an additional fee to that. You would actually purchase that either through that company, or there are independent companies that you can purchase through and then link them to your Wix or GoDaddy account. WordPress, that's more of a complex software. It requires some more knowledge of website design. It has a high learning curve if it's not something, most business owners, you don't have the time to try to learn technology. And so WordPress is good. They have a lot of expanded features, and their sites can do more than GoDaddy and Wix, but you also have to know how to use WordPress. So it's an open source media, and it can be kind of complex. Next one is Squarespace, and that is similar to GoDaddy and Wix, where you can find templates that fit what you need and just customize it to your needs. I've done a couple of things on Squarespace for customers, and it's pretty easy to use. It just takes a couple of minutes to, there are tutorials out there. I'm just more comfortable with Wix. Weebly is the same thing. It's a free software, a free program that you can use to create your website, and it has templates as well. I don't know a lot about that. I explored it a few years ago, but I just know that it's an option for you as a small business to create a website. So the next part, so now we've looked at why you should have a website and what it does for your business. Then we looked at, here are some platforms that you can use to create this website. Now let's think about, like, what are you going to do with this website once you start it? What is the purpose of your site? And so this is something that's very important as a business owner that you understand prior to creating your site, because it can help drive decisions that you'll need to make in the process. So one thing is, it's important to know who your customers are, because that's going to impact the way you design your site. If you have a younger audience, your site is probably going to be more flashy and attention grabbing and more images and larger text. Whereas if you have a flashier text, whereas if you have an older, more subdued customer base, your images are going to be softer, or your text is going to be gentler, and you may not use as many colors. Your color scheme may be kind of a calm, muted color. It all depends on what you're selling and who your customers are and what their age is. Gender is also a part of it as well, because men and women receive marketing in different ways and products in different ways. So if your product is for a neutral gender customer base, then you're going to create things that are pretty neutral and can apply or impact both male and female. You also want to know, like, what are your customers' interests? Because you have this huge pool of potential people, but your audience, your customers, are only a small portion of that. And so it's helpful to know what their interests are, because that also is going to tell you, like, how to market your website, where to market your website, because you're not going to, I'm just going to use the teens, for instance, you're not going to market a website for teens on like a site for Reader's Digest, or people who like Reader's Digest. You're not going to want to market to in that space, because your customers aren't there. So that's why it's important also to understand their interest. You don't have to do a deep dive, but at least be familiar with what your ideal customer looks like. And it's also good to create that person in your head as you move forward, because again, as I said, it's going to impact the design of your website. Next, how do you want them to use your site? Is this just a landing page for people to just come and see who you are and maybe get some general information about you? Or are you selling products and services from that site? Because you're going to want to build a larger site if you're going to sell products and services. You may just have a site for your blog, where you just want people to come read your blog and that's it and leave, and that's fine too. It just depends on what your business model is. The other part is that you might use your website to gather a mailing list, because you might want to get names when people hop on there, so that then you can send them follow-up information, or add them to a concert venue list. And so that could be the primary reason for your website is, hey, people come here, I get their email, and that way add it to my database. And when I have my next event, I can shoot out emails to all the people who I know were interested because they came to my site. So there's a lot for you to understand as you are building your website or even planning it. And this is the conclusion of my tutorial today. I just wanted to kind of lay the groundwork for you as a business owner as far as why you need to have a website, where you can go to build a website at low cost or free, and understanding your customers, because that also plays into your web design. So I will see you in the next tutorial.